Question 17. A poultry dealer has two types of chicken feeds, type A and type B. He sells 1 kg of type A at 45 shillings and 1 kg type B at 30 shillings. He makes a profit of 20% per kg of type A feed sold and 25% per kg of type B feed sold. He also sells mixtures of type A and type B feeds. Part A. Determine the amount of profit made by the dealer for selling 1 kg of 1 type A feed, 2 type B feed. So we start with working on those two parts. Now, the first part, you require to determine the amount of profit made by the dealer for selling 1 kg of type A. Now, from the statements that are given there, he sells 1 kg of type A at 45 shillings. At 45 shillings. So that is the selling price. And by doing so, he makes a profit of 20%. So if the cost price is 100% and he made a profit of 20%, therefore it means that the selling price will therefore be 100% plus 20%, and these will be 120%. So 120% represents the selling price, which is 45 shillings. So what about the profit? The profit is 20%. So what about the profit? So you simply need to cross multiply this. So if 120% is 45 shillings, what about 20%? So this will be 20 times 45, everything divided by 120. And this will give us the profit as 7 shillings and 50 cents. That is for type A feed. Type B feed, cost 30 shillings, and then he made a profit of, after selling it for 30 shillings, he made a profit of 25%. So that means 30 bob represents, or 30 shillings represents the selling price, and the selling price is inclusive of the profit. So the selling price will be 100% plus 25, which will be 125%, and that is equivalent to 30 shillings. And therefore, what about the profit? The profit is 25%. So what about the profit? So do the same thing, you cross multiply, so it will be 25% times 30, everything divided by 125. And this will give 6 shillings. So that is all for part A. Let's go to part B. Type A and type B feeds were mixed in the ratio 3:7. Calculate 1, the selling price of 1 kg of the mixture. Calculate the selling price of 1 kg of the mixture. Now, because you already know from the first part of the question, the selling price for type A, which is 45, and type B, so the ratio is here. So for type A and type B, so the selling price is 45, and then this one is 30. Then you have the ratio. The ratio is 3:7. Now, having this ratio, we get the selling price of 1 kg of the mixture like this. So 1 kg of the mixture will be given by 3, that is the ratio for A, 3 multiplied by 45, and then you add 7 times 30 using the ratio, and then the sum of the ratio 3 plus 7, which is 10. So this will give us the selling price of 1 kg of the mixture. And this one, when you work it out using a calculator, 3 times 45, then plus 7 times 30. This will give 345 divided by 10, and this gives 34 shillings and 50 cents. That is part 1. Part 2, the profit made by the dealer in selling 50 kg of the mixture. 50 kg of the mixture. Now, what we have already calculated in part B1 is the selling price of 1 kg of the mixture. Now for part B, we require to calculate the profit made by the dealer in selling 50 kg of the mixture. Now, let me take you to the previous part, part 1 and 2. We calculated the profit for type A feed and then for type B feed, but what we don't have is the mixture. Now, what will be the profit of now the mixture? Now, for us to get the profit of the mixture of type A and type B feed, we are going to use this profit that are here. We're going to use these profits, and then we use the ratios in which type A and type B feeds were mixed, and that is 3:7. So the ratio was 3:7, and we have the profit. The profit made by type A feed was 7 shillings and 50 cents, and then type B was 6 shillings. So we are going to get the profit of 1 kg of the mixture. So profit of 1 kg of the mixture, you're going to get it by, so we shall take the ratio 3 times 7 and 50 cents, that is for profit of type A feed, and then we add 7 times 6, that is for type B, and then we add the sum of the ratio 7 plus 3, which is 10. So this one will give the profit in selling 1 kg of the mixture, and using a calculator, this one is going to give 6 shillings and 45 cents. Now, having the profit made by the dealer in selling 1 kg of the mixture, now we can get what about 50 kg. So for 1 kg, the profit of the mixture, the profit is 6 shillings and 45. So what about 50 kg? So simply multiply. So it will be 50 times 6.45, and this will give 322 and 50 cents. That is part 2. The next part, the dealer made a profit of 1387.50 cents for the sale of 200 kg of different, these are different mixture of type A and type B feeds. Determine the ratio of type A and that of type B filled in the mixture. Now here we are required to determine the ratio in which these feeds were mixed. These are different mixture, and so we shall let the ratio, begin by letting the ratio, that ratio, because we don't know it, the ratio of A and B feeds to be represented by X is to Y. That is X for type A feed and B and Y for type B feed. Then we have the profit. The profit of that mixture is given there, and we have 200 kg. So since we have the profit for type A, we have it. The profit for type A mixture, we got it in the other part as it was 7 shillings and 50 cents, and then for type B we got it as 6 shillings. So this is what you're going to use. Just take you for part 1, you can see profit for type A feed 7 shillings and 50 cents, type B 6 shillings. So that is what you're going to use. What we don't have now is the ratio, and you let the ratio to be this one will be represented by X is to Y. So for 1 kg, of the mixture, profit will be given by we have 7 and this is 7 and 50 cents multiplied by X, that is the ratio for type A feed, plus we have 6 multiplied by Y, that is for type B feed, and then we add the sum of the ratios, which is X plus Y. So this now represents the selling price of 1 kg of the mixture. Remember, we have 200 kg. So for 200 kg, we simply need to multiply the whole of these, because that is 1 kg. We multiply the whole of that, 7 and 50 cents X, that is 6Y, everything X plus Y. That is what you're supposed to do. And this one will give us, we already have the profit made for this 200 kg as 13.87 and 50 cents. So you can see that with this equation here, we'll be able to get the ratio X is to Y. So the first thing we're going to do, we can start by dividing both sides by 200. So divide the left hand side by 200 and the right hand side, and these will give, so 7.5x plus 6y divided by x plus y is equals to, so when you divide 1387.5 divided by, so I'll leave this one in form of a fraction. So using our calculator, 1387.5 divided by 200, leaving it in the simplest form so that you may make your workings to be easier, it will be 111 divided by 16. I'm leaving it in form of fraction to make the working to be easier. So from here you can cross multiply. So that we have 16, 7.55x plus 6y is equals to 111x plus y. So when I open the brackets here, I will get 120x plus 96y is equals to 111x plus 111y. If you bring the x's together, take this one to this side, and also this one to the other side. So you shall have 120x subtract 111x is equals to this is 111, this is 111, so you shall have 111y minus 96y, like that. So this will give 9x there, and then 111 minus 96, this one will give 15y. So now getting the ratio, when you divide both sides by 9y, so divide both sides by 9y, and this one will give x over y is equals to 5/3. So having this now, giving the ratio is very easy. X over y is equals to 5/3. So this means that x ratio y is equals to 5:3. So that is the ratio. So for type A and for type B. So for type A, the ratio will be 5. For type B, the ratio will be 3. So that is how you're supposed to work out that question. A quantity P is partly constant and partly varies as the square root of quantity Q, given that P is equals to 20 when Q is equals to 4, and that P is equals to 60 when Q is equals to 100, find Q when P is equals to 22. So this is partial variation, and you have to choose the constant that you're going to use. I will use the constants to be A and B. So using those constants, now I can write this equation from this statement. A quantity P is partly constant, so equals partly constant. I'll put the first constant there, A, and then add. And partly varies as the square root of quantity Q. So square root of Q, and then don't forget to have the other constant there. So that is the required equation. Now given that P is equals to 20, just substitute P is equals to 20 when Q is equals to 4. So A remains there. Then Q is equals to 4. Therefore the square root of Q will be 2. 2 times B, that will be 2B. That is equation 1. And then given that P is equals to 60, P is equals to 60, A remains there, and Q is equals to 100. So this will be the square root of 100, which will be 10. 10 times B, that is 10B. We are simply substituting Q and P in this equation. Now having these two equations, we'll be able to get the constants A and B. And we can do this by simply solving the simultaneous equations using any suitable method. I will use substitution method, or maybe I can use elimination is better to use in this case. And I can take equation 2, I subtract equation 1. So equation 2 subtract equation 1, so I have 10B minus B, that will give 8B. Then A subtract A will be eliminated, and we have 60 subtract 20, that will give 40. So therefore B will be given by 5. B is 5. So using any of these equations, I can substitute here to get can substitute B in that equation to get A. So we have 20 is equals to A plus 2B. 2 times B, B is 5, so that will be 10, and therefore A will be 10. So having that, now it is possible now to write the equation from here. Now you can write this equation. P is equals to A is 10 plus B, B is 5, then the square root of Q. That is the equation connecting P and Q with the constants there. Now the question is, find Q when P is equals to 22. So when P is equals to 22, just need to substitute. So P is 22. So P is 22 is equals to, this is a 10 plus 5, the square root of Q. So you're supposed to find Q. So you simply make Q the subject. So this one will give 5. I want to remove everything from the right hand side and remain with Q. So 5 root Q is equals to 22 minus 10. So this will be 5 root Q is equals to 12. So again, you divide all through. You can divide all through by 5. So root of Q is equals to 12 divided by 5. If you divide both sides by 5, this will give 2.4. 2.4. So you have root of Q. You want to eliminate that root sign. So what do? You simply square. You square both sides. Square both sides. You shall have, when you square the root of Q, you get Q is equals to 2.4 squared. That will give 5.76. 5.76, and the solution for that part. The other part, part B, 3 quantities T, U, and V are such that T varies directly as the square of 10 subtract U, and inversely as the cube root of V. When T is equals to 12, U is equals to 4, and V is equals to 8. part 1, determine the equation connecting T, U, and V. So this is another type of variation, is direct variation. So T, U, and V. So T varies directly. So T varies directly. This is a sign of proportionality. It varies directly as the square of 10 subtract U. So 10 subtract U, square of that. And inversely, to divide as the cube root of V. The cube root of V. That is how you're supposed to write that. Now, when you remove this sign of proportionality, you have to introduce a constant. So T is equals to, let me use the constant as K. So multiply by 10 subtract U, and then divided by the cube root of V. The cube root of V. Now we have written that. Now we need to get this constant, and to do that we are given here when T is equals to 12. When T is equals to 12, so substitute 12 is equals to, and then we have K, and then we have U as 4. So U is 4. So simply take 10 subtract 4, and then V is 8. So that one, the cube root of 8, like that, just substituting. So this will simplify to 12 is equals to 10 subtract 4. Look at that, 10 subtract 4, that is 6. So 6 squared, that will be 36. So that will be 36 times K. And then everything here, the cube root of 8 is 2. So K, make K the subject. K will be given by 12 times 2 divided by 36. And this one will give K as 2/3. So that is the constant, 2/3. Now, having that, you're supposed to determine the equation connecting T, U, and V. Now we have the constant, so the equation connecting T, U, and V is equals to, T is equals to the constant, which is K, 2/3. From these, we are writing everything from these. Look at this, what you're supposed to use. So 2/3, and then 10 minus U, 10 minus U squared, and then everything divided by the cube root of V. The cube root of V. So that is how you're supposed to write it. 2/3 is supposed to multiply everything there. So when you put it like that, it is okay. Or you can decide to write it in another way. You can write it like this still. T is equals to 2 10 minus U squared, everything divided by 3, the cube root of V. That one is still okay. So that is how you're supposed to work out that part. The other part, part 2, find U when T is equals to 5 and 2 over 5 and V is equals to 15, 5 over 8. So that is the other part. So for this one, now because we have the equation here, we simply need to substitute. So T is 5, and you can see the equation, T is equals to 2/3. So T, I will convert these to be an improper fraction. So this will be 27 over 5 is equals to, like that. And then 2/3, I'm using the equation that you have already obtained from B part 1 above. And then we have 10 subtract U squared, like that. And then everything divided by we have the cube root of v. V is 15/5/8, 15/5/8. So you can decide to change that one. So you can change that one to become a fraction, not a fraction but a decimal. I mean a decimal. So 15 and 5/8 will be the same as 15.625, like that, just to make things to be easier. So now when you look at whatever we have after substituting, we can actually cross multiply. We can cross multiply the whole of these. I will take, for example, 27 multiplied by 3 multiplied by the cube root of 15.625, like that, is equals to the other diagonal. These will be 5 times 2, and then multiply by 10 minus u squared, like that. So from here we continue to simplify. So we shall have 27 times 3, then the cube root of 15.625 will be 2.5. That will be 2.5 is equals to, so this one will give 10 into 10 minus u squared, like that. We continue to simplify. So I can divide both sides by 10. I can divide this side by 10 and this side by 10, so that you may have, so when you divide both sides by 10, this is what you're going to have. So 27 times 3 times 2.5 divided by 10. Use a calculator for that. Just simply use a calculator for that. So what are you going to get there? You're going to get 20.25. 20.25 is equals to, this will be 10 minus u squared, like that. So at this stage now, remember we were looking for u, and looking at the right hand side, we can get, in order to get u, we can get the square root of both sides. So we get the square root of 20.25, and then we also, on the other side, we get the square root in order to eliminate that square sign. So the square root of 20.25, that will give us either positive or negative 4.5, and then for this one we remain with 10 minus u. Remember, when you're getting the square root, you get either positive or negative value. So now this one makes things to be easier, because the first solution will be 10 minus u is equals to 4.5, the positive 4.5, and this will give, this one will give, so u will be given by 10 minus 4.5. Here u will be 5.5. The second one, 10 minus u is equals to negative 4.5. Remember, we're considering either positive or negative, and here you shall have u as, if you make u the subject there, you shall have it as 10 plus 4.5, and this one will give 14.5. So those are the two possible values of u, and that is how you're supposed to solve that question. The following figure shows a tent erected on a level ground the roof ABCDEF of the tent is supported by 4 vertical posts, P1, P2, P3, and P4, each of height 2.5 meters. The ridge EF is equals to 3 meter, is centrally placed. Further, AB is equals to 11 meters, BC is equals to 8 meters, and FB is equals to FC is equals to ED is equals to EA is equals to 6 meters. Part A, that is calculate the length of the projection FC on the ground correct to 4 significant figures. The projection of FC. The projection of FC. Now you're supposed to understand that the projection is the shadow. So what is the shadow of FC on the ground? And therefore, to understand this question better, let us try to use a modified diagram where I have the ground indicated and also the top part. So here is a well labeled and illustrated diagram that will help us to solve this question. So the ground is there. It's just this diagram that is just modified, and that is just completing the base, the ground, and also shading it so that you can see the parts clearly. Now, as you can see, FC, we want to give the projection of FC on the ground. So what is the shadow of FC on the ground? The shadow of FC is LN. So there are some points here that I've introduced as well, so that you'll be able to understand. Like this point, I've labeled this on L, this one is N, then this point is K, and those ones will help us to understand how to solve this question. So the projection of FC, write that. So projection of FC on the ground is, as you can see here, LN. LN is LN, and here we have LN. So that means that LN is the same as, when you just look at these two diagrams and the shadings, CK. So LN is CK. There's a line that I've drawn here. These are diagonal here on this plane, and also the other diagonal on the other plane. So LN is equivalent to CK. That is something that you're supposed to note as well. LN is equals to CK. So we need to get that length, and for us to get that one, there's some length that you need to get here. So if I draw, example, if I draw a line at the center there, and then I draw another one here and another one here, there's something that I want you to see. This is the same as 3, and therefore these are the remaining parts here. These are the remaining parts. We are going to get them by, now this distance here. There's this distance from JK. Look at this distance here, JK. That is the same distance here. That is the same distance here. So we'll get that one by the whole of this distance here is the same with this distance AB, and it is 11. So if I take 11, I subtract 3, I'll remain with these two equal parts here, and each one of them will be equal. So I divide that one by 2, complete this one here. I divide that one by 2, and this will give, this is 8, it will give 4. So this side is 4, this side is 4. So when you add 4 plus 3, that is 7, plus 4, that is 11. It gives us the whole of this distance here. So therefore, this side here, this is 4, that is 4. It's good to note that. And since we want to get this length, the projection ln, and ln, according to this diagram here, is equivalent to ck. So when we get ck, we will have obtained ln because they are equal. So we're going to use this triangle here. Look at this triangle KCJ. This angle here, when I draw this straight line here, I like you to look at this angle here will be 90 degrees, and this diagram here, this is the angle, so that is the angle. This angle is 90 degrees. So I already have this side is 4, that is 4, and then look at this distance BC is 8, and when you draw, since this side here, look at this side, FB is equal to FC. So this one is forming an equilateral, not an equilateral but an isosceles triangle, and therefore if I draw a straight line here, I bisect the perpendicular bisector, it will divide this into 2, BC into 2, so that you have this side also as 4 and this one is 4, because the whole of BC is 4. So look at this triangle now, the triangle that we have here, this triangle KJC. KJC is a right angle triangle at J, and now we'll be able to get KC using Pythagoras theorem. So KC, therefore KC or CK, so let me just use CK is equals to, using Pythagoras theorem, it will be 4 squared plus 4 squared, 4 squared plus 4 squared, get the square root of that. This will give the square root of 32, and the square root of 32 will be 5.657 meters. Remember, CK, as we said, CK is equivalent to ln, and ln is the projection of FC. The projection of FC on the ground is ln, and ln and CK are equal. So once you get CK, okay, C, that is the same as ln. So that one is, so you can say ln is equals to CK is equals to 5.657 meters. So part B, the height of the ridge EF above the ground. The height of the ridge EF above the ground. So that height is this FL, that is the height that we require to get. Height FL, that is the height of the ridge EF above the ground. EF is here, so above the ground, it is from this point up to that line. So that is FL. So that is FL. And how do we get FL? FL will be obtained by getting FK plus KF. LK plus KF. LK, so LK plus KF. There's something that we know here. Look at LK. LK is the same as NC. So this one is 2.5. So this is 2.5. So LK is 2.5 plus KF. Now we need to get KF. We don't have that measurement, KF. So for us to get KF, I will use this triangle KFC. I'll use triangle KFC. So look at this triangle KFC. So it is a right angle at K. So KF is the height, and we have FC is the hypotenuse. So using Pythagoras theorem, so KF is equals to, that will be the square root of FC squared. FC squared is 6 squared, that is 6 squared, then subtract KC squared, subtract KC squared. We already obtained KC Kc in part A, or CK. Kc or CK is here. It is here. So subtract 5.657 squared. So that will give 36. Then subtract 5.657. So 5.657. That will give 32.001, around 2 there, and this will give 4 approximately. Right, this one, we round off this one correct to 4 significant figures. That is 32.002. We get 36 minus 32, that is square root of 4, and that will give us 2. So therefore this height here is 2, that is from K to F. So we have used that triangle KFC. So these are KFC. So having done that, now we can get FL, which is the required height. It will be 2.5 plus KF, which is 2, and this will give 4.5 meters as the solution. We go to the next part. The angle between edge FB and FC, the angle between two lines, those are two lines, FB and FC. So FB, where is FB? FB is here, FB is here, and FC is here. So the required angle is the one that is marked in red. So if I can extract that triangle, if I can extract it here, this is how it looks like. Just a sketch. So it looks like this. So we need to get this angle that is here, but this is 6, this is 6, and the other height, this is a 4. The base there we have 4, 4. So this one is 4, this one is 4. So I'm using this triangle here, FBC. So we need this angle. So we need just to get this one of these angles, and then we multiply it by 2 because these two angles are equal. This line is a perpendicular bisector. It bisects this line BC and also this angle. So now having that, if we get this angle, one of these angles, you just need to multiply by 2. So we can use sine. So sine of that angle is equals to, angle theta is equals to opposite over hypotenuse. So this one, angle theta, is equals to the sine inverse of 4 divided by 6, like that. And this will give, using a calculator, when you work it out, you get the angle to be 41.81 degrees. So that is just one angle, because there are two and they are equal. To get the whole of that angle, you simply multiply by 2. 41.81 times 2, and this will give 83.62 degrees. So that is how we work out that part. We go to the next part. The next part is the angle between the plane FBC and the ground. The plane FBC and the ground. The plane FBC and the ground. So the ground is there in yellow. Then FBC is here. So you can see FBC is at the top, and then the ground is there at the bottom. So what you do, you translate. You're going to translate this ground. Remember, this ground is the same as this. So when you translate the whole of this plane, the ground is the same, the similar thing with what we have at the top there. So ABCD, this is ABCD, is a replica of the ground. So the angle that FBC makes, this is the angle between two planes. The angle between two planes. So the ground we have translated this ground here by raising it up. So now the ground is the same as A, B, C, D. So the angle between will be given by this will be angle. So you simply draw this straight line here, and the required angle will be this will be the required angle, the angle between. All the same, you can also translate this plane FBC on the ground. You translate that on the ground, but that one is a bit complex. You may not see that one properly, so that is why you need to simply translate the ground. You raise it up. So this is the angle that is here. So if I extract that triangle, so we're going to use this triangle FKJ. So it looks like this. So J is here, and then FK. So this one is F and this one is K. So this is the required angle. So you simply indicate all the measurements. The measurements we already have, FK is 2, and then what else do we have? We have KJ is 4. So with those two we can get that angle. So this angle, which ratio do we use? Tangent is going to work. So tangent of angle theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. So this is the same as a half. So tan of theta is equals to a half, or 0.5, and therefore theta will be given by, get the tan inverse of a half, which is the same as 0.5, and this will give 26.57 degrees. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question. The table below shows the values of x and some values of y for the curve y is equals to 3x cubed plus x squared minus 7x in the range x is greater than or equal to -2 or less than or equal to 2. Part A of the question: complete the table by filling the missing values of y correct to one decimal place. So let's begin from there. So for this one, you simply need to take the values of x using your calculator and then substitute those values in this function. So you have the first one, like the first one is a -2. So y is equals to 3x cubed. So x is -2 cubed plus x squared, that is -2 squared, then minus 7, x is -2. So feed that one the way it is in the calculator, and when you do that, this is what you're supposed to get. You get -6 for that. Then the next one is -0.5. So you have y is equals to 3, x is -0.5 cubed, then plus x squared. So the x is 0.5, that is -0.5 squared, and then minus 7 x -0.5. So feed that in the calculator the way it is, and you will get positive 3.4. The next one is 0. So y is equals to 3. So 0 cubed plus 0 squared minus 7 into 0. So that one gives 0. Then the next is 1. So y is equals to 3, x is 1, so 1 cubed plus x squared, so that is 1 squared minus 7 into x, that is 1. So feed that one in the calculator. That one gives -3. The next one is 1.5. So y is equals to 3. X is 1.5 cubed plus x squared. X is 1.5. Square that. Then subtract 7, 1.5. So that gives 1.9. Correct one decimal place. So once you've done that, you get 2 marks. Part B, on the grid provided, draw the graph of y is equals to 3x squared plus x squared minus 7x. For that range, use the scale. This is very important. Use the scale given. 2 centimeters for 1 unit on the x-axis and 2 centimeters for 5 units on the y-axis. So have a look at the values of x, the range, that is the smallest value and the largest value. Then look at the space that you have, the graph given, to know where you're going to draw the x-axis. So when I look at these values of x, the smallest -1.5, and then I have the largest there for the y-axis. I can see it is 14, the smallest -6. So for the y-axis, you need to be careful with that. Seems the largest values are there. So draw the x-axis there, and then there is so this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So the scale for the x-axis, 2 centimeters for 1 unit. 2 centimeters for 1 unit means what? That this is 0, 2 centimeters, 1 unit, like that. So we have 2 there. Then here you have -1, and then you have -2 there. Then for the y-axis, 2 centimeters, 5 units. So this is 5, 10, 15. And then you have -5, -10. Don't think we've gone beyond that. So try to accommodate all the values. So let's now plot. First one is when x is -2, y is -6. So -2, -6, -2. Before we proceed, note the size of one small square. Like for the x-axis, so for the x-axis, one small square, you simply take 1 divided by 10, so that is 0.1. So for the y-axis, one small square, so you can see the 5 units, 2 centimeters, that is 5 divided by 10. It will be, one small square will be 0.5. Take note of that. So now I want to plot -2, -6. So -2, so -2, -5.56, -6 will be here, to be there. And then the next one is -1.5, 2.6, -1.5, 2.6, 1.5, So 2.5 is there, 2.6 is there. -1.5. Sorry, there's something. Yeah. So the second one, -1.5. -1.5 is here. -1.5, 2.6. -1.5. 2.6 is there. -1.5. -1.5. It is there. And then we have -0.5. -0.5, 3.4. So 2.5, 3.4 will be there, will be somewhere there. So this is 2.5, 3, 3.5. So 3.4 will be somewhere there. Then 0, 0, 0, 0 will be here. Then 0.5. 0 because you don't have anything here. So if you have 0 subtract -4 will give +4. 0 subtract -4 will give +4. So you remain with y is equals to 4. So draw that line. Y is equals to 4. So let me go to the curve and draw the line. Y is equals to 4 is this line. So y is 4. 4 is here. So you simply draw that line. Draw the line that passes through this point. That is the line. 4 is here. So 4 is there. So this is y is equals to 4. Now for you to get the solutions, kindly identify the points where that line cuts the curve. The first one is here, the second one is here, and the third one is here. So read this point here. So you do that by, you can simply draw a straight line from this point, drop down like that, and also this is the one here. The other one there, and also the other one there. So when you draw a straight line from this point of intersection of that line and the curve, you draw a straight line from that point, and then you read this value here. So these will be the solutions. So this will be solution, this one and this one. So you start with this one. So note the scale. The x-axis, this will be 1.5. This will be 1.6. It will be 1.6. The first one here. This one will be 1.6. So x, first value, 1.6. And then we have the other one here. Now the other one here, can approximate that one to be, so 1.5. This is not 1.5, but this is 0.5, 0.6, 0.7. Is around there, 0.7. So this is 0.5, 0.6, around 0.69. Can approximate that one to be 0.69, around there. So x is equals to 0.69. And then the last one which is here. So this is 1.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.3, around 1.3, 1.31, around there. Can approximate that because it is not anywhere on that line. Can approximate that one to be this 1.21, 0.2, 0.3, 1.3. So x is equals to 1.3. Around this is around, if I approximate 3.2, around 2 there. So these are the values. So from now, so these are the values here. So I can write them here. So the solutions, x is equals to 1.6, x is equals to, and these ones are negatives. So this is negative, and this one is So that is the line. So that is the line. And now we need to check where the line cuts the curve. So this point here, needed to extend this point, but is touching. I can confirm this one touching exactly at that point. Then there's this point, there's this point. So we read the value at this point here. So the value at this point here, so it just goes straight. So this one will be, so this is the point, the x coordinate of that point was -2. So that is the first one. X is equals to -2. And then the other one here is 0. X is 0. This one, x is 0. And then we have this one here. We have this. So for this one, let me draw a straight line and drop down. So from that point of intersection, can drop down like that. So this one being the point, I drop down there. This will be 1.5 or 1.6, 1.6, around 1.65. This is around 1.65. So 1.5 is here, 1.6. It is not yet on the other square. So 1.65. So x is equals to 1.65. So these are the values of x. So simply check this point here. Just drop down. That is the point. So the first point is here. That is a -2. Then 0 is down. And then this one here, 1.65. So those are the values. So x is equals to -2, x is equals to 0, and x is equals to 1.65. So those are the solutions. That is how you're supposed to solve that question. Fadhili deposited 400,000 in an account that paid compound interest on deposits at the rate of 7% per annum. The end of 3 years, he withdrew all the money from the account. The first question, calculate the amount that Fadhili withdrew. So he deposited 400,000 shillings. So that is the initial principal. So that is the principal, 400,000. And the rate of interest is on compound interest, so you need to be keen on that. And then the rate is 7% per annum. Period is 3 years. So for this question, to get the amount, we're going to use the compound interest formula. And this is how it is. Amount is given by principal, then into brackets 1 plus rate divided by 100, everything raised to power n. In this case, n is the period, then all the others, a is the amount, and that is what you're supposed to get in this question. So therefore, amount is given by the principal, which is,
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate, every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it.
I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
So n will be 2 multiplied by 2, and that will give 4 periods. Because for 1 year, the depreciation takes place twice. That is after every 6 months. So after 2 years, it will be 4 times, 4 periods in which depreciation will be taking place. Now having these, now we can simply use the formula and proceed. So we have the amount is given by the principal, which is 490,017 cents, and then to bracket 1 minus 1.5 divided by 100, everything raised by 4, the period. So this will give, when you work out this, you get 490 and 17.20 cents, then multiply by 1, subtract 1.5 100, you raise everything to power 4 using a calculator. That will give 0.94133655. So this one, when you multiply, you'll get 461 217 and 10 cents. That's correct to 2 decimal places. Part 3, determine the gain or loss from Fadhili's investment in 5 years. In 5 years, the gain or loss in 5 years. So what we need to get is to get either the gain or the loss. So to get either the gain or the profit or the loss, we are going to get the amount at the end of 5 years. We use the amount at the end of 5 years, then we subtract the initial amount or the initial principal that was invested. So in this case, the amount after 5 years is what we've just obtained in the previous part of the question, which is that. So that is the amount 461 to 17.10 cents. Then the initial amount that was invested from the first part of the question, he deposited 400,000 shillings. So that is the initial amount, 400,000. 400,000. This one will give a profit or a gain of 61,217 and 10 cents. So that is the profit or the gain. It is actually the gain. So that is all about that part. Part B, Mbuto invested 400,000 shillings in a financial institution that paid compound interest at the rate of 6% per annum. After n years, the amount had accumulated to 500,000. Calculate the value of n, correct to the nearest whole number. So here you need the period. So you have the amount that had accumulated. It accumulated to 500,000. And then the initial amount deposited is given as 400,000. Then we have the rate. The rate is 6% per annum. So what we don't have is the period. So again, we're going to use because this one is compound interest, we're going to use the compound interest formula. Amount is given by principal 1 plus r over 100 raised power n. So we're going to insert everything that we have. We have the amount as 500,000 is equals to principal is 400,000, and then 1 plus the rate is 6%. So what we don't have is n. So to solve this question, we actually need to make n the subject of the formula. So we'll start by dividing both sides by 400,000. Divide both sides by 400,000. So this will give 5 divided by 4, which will be 1.25 is equals to 1 plus 6 actually. If I add these, this will be 1 plus 0.06 raised power n. This will be 1.25 is equals to 1.06 raised power n. So in order to make n the subject of the formula, we're going to introduce logarithms on both ends. So we have the logarithm of 1.25 is equals to logarithm of 1.06 raised power n. This is the same as logarithm of 1.25 is equals to logarithm of 1.06 and is the same as n logarithm of 1.06. So now it is easier to make n the subject. You just need to divide both sides. Divide both sides by logarithm of 1.06. Logarithm of 1.06. So therefore n will be given by logarithm of 1.25 divided by logarithm of 1.06, and these will give 3.8296, and because you're required to give the answer nearest to the whole number, this one is approximately to the nearest whole number. It will be 4 years. So that is how you're supposed to solve that question. The probabilities of obtaining scores 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 using a biased pentagonal spinner was recorded as shown in the following table. So the table shows the scores 1 all the way to 5. The probabilities are indicated there. The first question, determine the value of k. The value of k. So to get the value of k, we're going to get the sum of all the probabilities here. And the sum of all the probabilities of all the score from 1 to 5 should give 1. So that means we add the probability of getting a score of 1 is k. So we add k plus the other probability is 0.1 plus 0.25 plus 2k plus 0.2, and that should give 4, and 5, 5. Those are the probabilities when this spinner was spun twice. So now after doing that, you're supposed to find the probability of obtaining an even number in the first spin, an even number in the first spin, and an odd number in the second spin. So an even number in the first spin, the first one is here. The first one is here. This one, 1, 2. Not 1, 2. Let me see. This is 2, 1, 2, 1. We have so the probability of obtaining an even number in the first spin, we have first one here. The first one is given here. It is here, 2, 1. So probability of getting 2, 1. So that the first one is 2, that is an even number. Then the second is odd number, that is 1. Then or we have this one as well. We have this one, 2, 3. So probability of 2, 3. The first spin you get a 2, that is an even number. The second spin you get 3, that is an odd number. So let me get another one. The other one is 2, 5. 2, 5. We have or probability of 2, 5. 2 is an even number, then 5 an odd number. Then or we go to the next one. The next one is for 3 we don't have that. For 4, 4, 1 is there. Probability of 4, 1. 4 even number, 1 odd number. And then we have 4, 3. 4, 3. The first one is 4 even number. The second one is 3 odd number. So 4 even number, 3 odd number. And then we have the other one is 4, 5. 4, 5. Then for 5 we not have, because the first one, of course, 5 is an odd number. The first one, that one will not be applicable. See, these are the probabilities of getting an even number in the first spin and an odd number in the second spin. So now what we need to do is to get what is the probability of getting a 2 and a 1. Probability of getting a 2 and a 1. So we go to the table. Probability of obtaining a 2 is 0.1. 1 is 0.15. Then for the 4, probability of getting is 0.3. Then probability of getting a 3 is 0.25. We're done with that. Then the next one, the last one, is probability of getting a 4 and a 5. Probability of getting a 4 is 0.3. The probability of getting a 5 is 0.2. Now that is all. What you need to do now is simply multiplying and adding everything. So we simply need to multiply out and add everything. 0.3, this somewhere here, a bit of correction. 0.3 times 0.15, that will give 0.045. You know, this 0.045 for this one. This is the part. So let me now add everything. So when you add everything now, 0.015 plus 0.025 plus 0.02 plus 0.045 plus 0.075 plus 0.06, that will give 0.24, and that is the probability of getting an even number in the first spin and an odd number in the second spin. Now part 2, the total score S for the 2 spins was obtained. Determine the probability that the total spin, that is S, was greater than or equal to 9. Greater than or equal to 9. So let's go to that probability space and see where do we have the probability being greater than or equal to 9. Greater than or equal to 9. The first one is greater than or equal to 9. So we have the first one is 4.5. 4.5, you can see that one is giving a total score of 4 in the first spin and 5 in the second spin. That is 4 plus 5, that is 9. Or we can have another one is 5.4. 5.4, we have 5.4 as well. So we have 5.4. So this one 5.4, that is 5 plus 4, that is 9. Or we have 5.5. It should be greater than or equal to 9. So when you look at these three, these are the only one that will give a total of greater than or equal to 9. So after doing that, now we can get the probabilities, and it is very easy. Just identify what is the probability of getting a 4. A 4 is 0.3 from the table. 0.3. So 0.3 times the probability of getting a 5. A 5 is 0.2. 0.2. So we're done with that. So now let's go to the other one. Probability of getting a 5 and a 4. A 5, probability of getting a 5 from the table. From the table is 0.2. 0.2. And then a 4 is 0.3. Done with that. Then the next one, probability of getting a 5 and a 5. Probability of getting a 5 is 0.2. Probability of getting a 5 is 0.2. Now we can add these. So these will give 0.06 plus 0.06 plus 0.04. So when you add these, you get 0.16. That is how you're supposed to solve that question. In the figure below, OABC is a trapezium. AB is parallel to OC, and OC is equals to 4AB. D is a point on OA such that OD ratio DA is equals to 3:1. And E is a point on OC such that OE ratio EC is equals to 1:3. So the figure is there. We can begin by putting these ratios. OD-DA, OD-DA, that ratio is 3:1, that is internal division. Then the other one, OEEC, 1:3. That one again is internal division. And then we have this one is also very important. OC is equals to 4AB. That one is very important. So part A, given that OC is equals to C and OA is equals to A, express in terms of A and C, ED. So ED. So how do you move from E to D? You're going to follow this route from E to O, then from O to D. So EO, look at the direction of C. So moving in the opposite direction, so that will be negative. Then OE is the fraction of that line to be 1 over, looking at the ratio 1:3, that will be 1/4 of OC. The negative is there because we're moving in the opposite direction, E to O. Then plus OD. OD, look at the ratio in which D divides OA. So that is internal division. Therefore, OD is 3, then DA is 1. So that will be, OD will be 3/4 OA. So this one simplify to -1/4 OC. This will be -1/4 C plus 3/4 OA is A. So that is how you can write it, or you can leave it like this: 3/4 A minus 1/4 C. The next one is CB. So how do you move from C to B? C to B. So you move from C to O. So look at the diagram: C to O, then O to A, then A to B. That is the direction. So from C to B, C to O, then plus OA plus AB. So CO plus OA plus AB. What is CO? In the diagram, CO moving in the opposite direction. OC is C, therefore CO will be -C. Then OA is given as A. And then AB, look at this. AB, we're going to get it from this. So looking at whatever we're given there, OC is equals to 4 AB. Therefore, AB will be given by 1/4 OC. So that is how you get AB. AB is 1/4 OC. So this one simplifies to -C plus A plus 1/4 OC is C. Like that. So like terms, -C plus 1/4 C. That will give -3/4 C. So this one then A. So this one will simplify to A subtract -3/4 C. We go to part B. Line ED and CB produced intersect at X such that EX is equals to HED and CX is equals to KCB, where H and K are scalars. 1. Express EX in terms of A, C, and H. So EX is equals to HED. This one is simple. Since we have vector ED, you just copy. ED is the first part. We got it. 3/4 A. 3/4 A minus 1/4 C. So multiply everything here, opening the brackets, you'll get 3/4 HA minus 1/4 HC. So you can see we have expressed it in terms of A, C, and H. Part 2. Then from there, I'd like you to identify where we have vector A. We have vector A there, we have vector A. I have this one, this is the first one, and this is the second one here. So you can use any suitable method to find, for example, if I can use substitution, substitution is going to work, since if I make H the subject here, just look at this clearly. If I make H the subject, H will be given by, you just multiply both sides by reciprocal of 3 over 4, that is 4 over 3. It will be 4 over 3k. 4 over 3k. So from these, so I can substitute that on here. So in this equation here, I can substitute negative H is 4 over 3k is equals to 3 minus 3k, like that. Then I multiply all through by 3, I get negative 4k, then 3 times 3 is on 9, then this one is 9k. So multiply each term by 3 to get rid of the denominator. Then from here, bringing 9k to this side, I have 5k is equals to 9, and this one will give k to be 9 over 5. That is the first solution. The second one will be, now remember from here, the value of h is 4 over 3k, so h is equals to 4 over 3k, so h will be 4 over 3, then k is 9 over 5. So this one will give by 3, 1 by 3, this one will give 12 over 5. So that one is equals to h. So you have k and you have h. Those are the scalars. That is what was required in that question. So you solved that. So let's go to the other part. The last one, determine the ratio of ED dx. ED dx. Now what is going to help us there? ED dx. Let's go to the diagram and see. ED dx, that ratio. ED dx, you can see it. So what is going to help us there is this particular, look at part B. Part B, we had this. So this one, EX is equals to HED. EX. So EX is equals to HED. This is going to help us. And from this one, if you make ED the subject, so therefore ED is equals to 1 over H. You simply multiplying this one by 1 over H and this one by 1 over h. So ED will give 1 over h EX. And since we know the value of h, so ED will be 1 divided by h is 12 over 5. This is EX. And this one will give ED is equals to, when you work out this, 1 divided by 12 over 5, that will give 5 over 12 EX. This will guide you. So look at the diagram, look at whatever you have there. ED is equals to 5 over 12. ED is equals to, so ED is equals to 5 over 12 EX. So that one will give you the ratio. So ED is 5, and then because the sum is 12, this one automatically will be 7. So this will guide you, and therefore you get the ratio to be ED dx to be 5:7. 5:7. So ED ratio dx is equals to 5:7. And that is how you're supposed to solve that question. PQR is a triangle with vertices P 5, -1, Q 3, -1, and R 3, -3. On the grid provided, draw triangle PQR. We start with that. We drew that. So P is 5, -1. So 5, -1 is here. So that is why you have P. Then Q is 3, -1. 3, -1 is there. And then R 3, -3. 3, -3. 3, -3 is there. So join these ones using a straight line. So that is the triangle required. So that is the triangle. Then we go to the next part. Supposed to draw that. So part B, on the same grid, draw triangle P prime, Q prime, R prime. The image of triangle PQR and a reflection in the line y is equals to x. Y is equals to x. So the first thing you're supposed to do is to know this type of reflection, y is equals to x. It transforms a point. Let's say you have a point AB. When it is reflected along this line, y is equals to x, the points are interchanged. So you get BA. So you can use this knowledge, or you can use the matrix of transformation that represents using the unit square that represents y is equals to x, but I find this one to be a little bit easier. So for P, for example, for P is 5, -1. That one, under this transformation, P prime will be, the points will be interchanged, so you have -1, 5. Q, 3, -1. That one will be -1, 3. And then R is 3, -3. That one becomes -3, 3. So that is how you deal with that part. So after doing that, you're supposed to draw it. We start with P prime, -1, 5. So -1, 5. So -1, 5. That is why you have P prime. And then the other one, Q prime, is -1, 3. And then we have R, -3, 3. Then you can join these. So that is the triangle. You're done with that part. You can go to the next part. The other part, P double prime, triangle P double prime, Q double prime, R double prime is the image of triangle P prime, Q prime, R prime, and a transformation matrix is given there by T. Find the coordinates of P double prime, Q double prime, R double prime. So you have the matrix of transformation. Now to transform this triangle, you need to pre-multiply with this matrix of transformation. Pre-multiply this triangle, P prime, Q prime, R prime. So you have 1.5, negative 0.5, negative 0.5, 1.5, like that. So you have P prime, Q prime, R prime. Have negative 1, 5 for Q prime, negative 1, 3. Then R prime, negative 3, 3. Like that. Please ensure you able to multiply these matrices. So for this part, we start with the first row on the first column. So you'll have 1.5 times 0 plus negative 0.5 times 1. That is the first row, the first column. We go the first row, the second column. Second column, we shall have 1.5 times 1 plus negative 0.5 times 0. Then the first row, the third column now. So we're multiplying this one. So this one and this one, we got that. So this one and this one, we have that. So now we are first row, third column. So that one will give us 1.5 times 1, then plus negative 0.5 times 0, like that. We are through with the first row. Now we can go to the second row. The second row. So the second row, first column. This one we have negative 0.5 times 0 plus 1.5 times 1, and then negative 0.5 times 1 plus 1.5 times 0. So that is the second row, second column. That is what you get. Now in that one, the second row, third column, that will give negative 0.5 times 1 plus 1.5 times 0, like that. So okay, this one use a calculator. And then use a calculator very fast. You will get so let us multiply this. So you're going to start with the first row, the first column. So we have 1.5 times negative 1, then plus negative 0.5 times 5. We go to the first row, second column, the first row, second column. That will give 1.5 times negative 1 plus negative 0.5 times 3. Now we go into the first row, the third column. So that will be 1.5 times negative 3 plus negative 0.5 times 3. We are through with the first row. Now we can go to the second row. Second row, first column. We get negative 0.5 times negative 1, then plus 1.5 times 5. Now we go to the next one, second row, second column. Negative 0.5 times negative 2 plus 1.5 times 3. Now the third one, second row, third column. We get negative 0.5 times negative 3 plus 1.5 times 3, like that. So after doing that, remember these will give this one will give P double prime, this one will give Q double prime, and this one will give R double prime, and these will give all of these will give, this one will give negative 4. Then for this one you will get negative 3, and then for R you get negative 6. The second row, this one you get 8, then 5, then 6. So that is how you're supposed to do it. So this one is P, this one is Q, and then this one is R. So those are not the coordinates. Now the coordinates are supposed to be written in this format: negative 4, 8, and then negative 3, 5, and R negative 6, 6. So those are the coordinates. Now we can go to the other part on the same. So the other question, is here. On the same grid, draw triangle P double prime, Q double prime, R double prime. So you just need to plot these on. So negative 4, 8. So negative 4, 8, negative 4, 8, so negative 4, 8 is there. And then we have the other one is negative 3, 5. Negative 3, 5 is there. So this one is R double prime, this one is P double prime. Now this is Q, this is a P double prime, then this one is Q. And then R, negative 6, 6, negative 6, 6 is there. So there we have it. So we can join that. So that is how the triangle should look like. So we have P double prime, Q double prime, R double prime is there. So we have done that. So the last one, determine a single transformation that maps PQR directly to P double prime, Q double prime, R double prime. Now There are several ways of doing that. Because I don't know that transformation matrix, I'll let the matrix be represented by A, B, C, D. So when I take that matrix A, B, C, and D, I multiply it with this triangle PQR, which I have the coordinates. I have them as 5, -1. We have these 3, -1, and 3, -3. I will get P double prime, Q double prime, R double prime, like that. Of which you have this one again, -4, 8, -3, 5, and -6, 6. So this one will help us, and I want us to go directly to solving these. So we don't need to multiply everything. We can multiply up to that point only. So first start with this one, first row, this column. So this one will give 5A minus B, and then go to first row, second column. So this one will 3A minus B. At that point, then down here we go to second row, first column. This will be 5C minus D, and then second row, second column, we'll have 3A minus D. So we can stop at that point. I don't need to go to the other one because these are simultaneous equations that will be formed. Then I can pick -4, 8, -3, 5. I can pick just P double prime and Q double prime. They'll give me the solution. Now from there, you can try to match this. So this one matches with this. So 5A minus B is equals to -4. And then this one will match with this. So 3A minus B is equals to -3. So you can see I can eliminate B using elimination method. So I can subtract this. So this will be 5A minus 3A. This is 2A is equals to -4, subtract -3 to give -1. And this one will give A as -0.5 or -0.5. Now after getting that, you can substitute in any of the equations. So I'll substitute in this equation here. So 5A is -0.5 minus B is equals to -4. Is -2.5 minus B is equals to -4. So once you work out the value of B here, B will give 1.5. So from there we can proceed and solve. We can proceed and solve for C and D. So for C and D, I can take 5C minus D. That one matches with 8. And then this one matches with that. So 3A, not 3A, but this is C. Sorry, I wrote the wrong thing here. It's supposed to be C. It's supposed to be C. So this is 3C minus D is equals to, it matches with that, 5. So I can eliminate D. So 5C minus 3C, I get 2C. D will be eliminated. So 8 subtract 5 will give 3. So from these, C is equals to 1.5. So if C is 1.5, I can use one of the equations here. So 5 into C, C is 1.5. I'm using this equation. Minus D is equals to 8. So this will give 7.5 minus D is equals to 8. And here, D will be given by -0.5. Now I'd like you to check now. You have A as that. Then B, we got B. B is there. And then C is there. And then D is there. So our matrix was AB. So A, B, C, D. So the matrix A is -0.5. B is 1.5. C is 1.5. And D is -0.5. So that is the matrix. That is how you're supposed to solve that question.